Hello, my name is Kenny, and I'm here to make a tutorial on Pixlr. I'm also here to show you how Pixlr can be used for educational purposes. Now, Pixlr is an online editor which takes the place of Photoshop if you can't afford it or something like that. Or if you need to work on the cloud so that you can just save it and work somewhere else. Now, Pixlr itself is split into three parts: Pixlr Editor, Pixlr Express, and Pixlr-O-Matic. Now, the editor is what I'm going to focus on, but Express and O-Matic are the two app versions for iOS devices, Android, smartphones in general. So these two are sort of like Instagram, except you can't post them online. But these two are much more complete than Instagram, as you can apply more than just filters. Now, click on Editor. Now, once you've opened Pixlr Editor, you get these options. You can choose to create a new image, which you can start drawing on, basically like a blank sheet of paper. You can open an image from your computer, so you can browse through your folders, open an image that you want, and you can edit it to your heart's content. Open an image from a URL means that you go to an image. Let's Google a random one here. This is an image that I'm going to use later on. Now, I'm just going to randomly select this picture because I'm going to use this later to show how to use the red eye correction on here. So, how you open an image from the URL is you view just the image. This won't work. This is not an image URL. This is a search query. What you have to do if you want to open an image URL is you have to view the image. You see how this is only the image? So you have to view the image, right click, copy, and then paste it in this bar here. So since I already copied it, just paste. OK. Now, I'm actually going to use the red eye correction first. So this is a picture of a baby with red eye. So what you do is you select the red eye correction tool right here, red eye reduction tool. Select that. Then you just click on the eyes. Click on the red eyes. And they become fixed, or appear fixed, but it's good enough. Now, this program, Pixlr Editor, can be used for recreational purposes and can be used for education purposes as well. Now this, for a recreation, for a personal purpose, you can use the image and apply adjustments, filters, just like Instagram, so that you can make a little photo album for yourself. So, for example, adjustment, you can adjust any of these various things. Now these ones are more like filters than adjustments. So just select a random. If you like that, and you can layer these adjustments on top of each other. And here, over here, is the history of what you have done. So if you don't like how it looks like, you can either press Ctrl-Z, edit and undo, edit and undo, or you can just click here to where you want to go. So back to the last time I used the red eye reduction tool. So if you made a choice that you kind of regret, like so. You can just undo it by clicking here, by pressing Ctrl Z, or edit and then undo. So again, pick another one. This adjusts the color, this adjusts the type of color, and then this adjusts how much of the color is saturating the picture, hence saturation. This determines the lightness of the picture. Keep it like that. Now, cross-process, I don't understand what happens, but turns out like this. Now you've got an Instagram-like photo. Now you can save this by clicking File, Save, and then you can choose a name, and then choose your format. Now you can pick JPEG for most photos, but then if you want it as a background for a certain application, some applications support only PNGs for this. Sometimes you might want a BMP, a bitmap, TIFF, which I don't understand. I don't know what it is, as I've never needed to use that, or PXD, a layered Pixlr image. It's a special format that Pixlr has created. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Now, as a JPEG, you can choose the quality. You can make it lower quality, but smaller size, or full quality and a larger size. See, 147 kilobytes here. And if you lower the quality, just 10 kilobytes. So I'm going to put it to full and save. It'll open out a window about here or here, and open up your Explorer so that you can save with your Explorer. And now the image is saved, and you can open it again at a later date, since you've already saved. So open the image from computer, and as you can see, it's right here. So select that, open it, and there you go. It's back there. Now, if you have an account, as I have, you can save it onto Pixlr. So let's try this. Save to Pixlr library. Now you can save it into a new folder, high quality, or whatever you want, whatever format you want. Keep it as JPEG, and then save. Now, as soon as your image is saved, you can again exit and open it again from Pixlr. So open image from library. Now this requires an account. If you don't have an account, when you click this option, it will bring up a login screen. Now, if you don't have an account, there's a button that says sign up. I will show you right after this. Now, you see the picture loads up here. You click it. It looks strange here, but if you click it, open it, it'll load it from the cloud and right there. Now, if I log out, I am now logged out. You need to open a new image if you want to open an image. Oops. There. If you want to open an image from the library, if you're not logged in, it'll bring you up to the login site. Now, the login box. Now, if you have an account, you can just type in your email, your password, and log in. Or you can click sign up to Pixlr if you don't have one, and sign up with your name, your email, password, repeat it, click OK, and then you'll be signed up. Now, I will log in. And there you go. I can access this picture again. Now, other options that you have here are to create a new image and open the image from a computer, which I've already shown you. And this is just links to get to the mobile apps of Pixlr. Now, create a new image. There are different presets that you can use that they have preloaded, or you can create your own by customizing the width and the height. Now, you can choose here also if you want this to be transparent or not. If it's not transparent, it'll be a white sheet of paper. But if it is transparent, it'll be like if you're working in Photoshop. So let's leave it as white for now. And now let's open a new image as transparent. Now, as you can see, just like Photoshop, transparent areas are depicted by this checkerboard pattern. And white is depicted by white. Now, a very important thing that you want to know is adjusting the size of the image and the canvas. Now, if you click on image, there's image size and canvas size. Canvas size is very important if you start off small, but you need more space. So, let's say, for example, I'm trying to draw a person. So, head, hair. In case you haven't noticed, this is a pencil tool. In Pixlr, they have many different types of pencils. I'm just using their default, which is sketchy. Let's draw a head. Now, what if I want to draw the body? And you can see that I don't have enough space. So if I want to draw the body, I can just go to image, go to canvas size. Now, here you can pick an anchor point. That means that you can choose the part that is the anchor. It chooses either the center of your current picture, the top, bottom, right, left, or either of the corners. So I'm going to pick the top since I need to extend it downwards and increase the height. Now see, over here in the navigator, you can navigate quickly and you can see that now I have more real estate. So that is a very important thing because I have found that when you draw, usually you draw big and then you'll end up needing more space. This is very important if you end up needing more space. So also to cover Pixlr's unique pencil tool, there are 6 different types. There's the plain one, which is just a plain pencil. Sketchy, which you have seen. Oops. The trail. Shaded. Sticky. And ink pencil. Very interesting. An ink pencil. Now you can experiment with these as much as you like. They all have their own unique properties. And it's up to you to decipher all of their properties, as I have not yet. So exit this. Now, just like Photoshop, you work with layers. Now, if you want to make a new layer, just click here and you create a new layer. Here, you can choose the layer styles. You choose drop shadow, inner shadow, bevel, outer glow, inner glow, and edit them individually. I'm not going to apply any of those. You can also add a mask. The mask is like a selection isolation tool. Right click here, delete layer mask. Now, if you started off with a transparent canvas and you want white, a very easy way to do that is to select the color palette. Now you can choose your different colors. Right now they're all black. Or you can choose the big palette and choose your color. I'll choose white. Now the very simple way to create a piece of paper is to just fill it with white. Fill brush with white. The only problem with this is that when you start erasing, you erase through to the transparent. So if you do really want a white sheet of paper, create a new image and don't make it transparent. The next layers you make afterwards will be transparent anyways. So delete this layer again. So then now if you erase, oops, now if you erase, you don't erase through the paper. So for time's sake, now with these tools, the pencil, the brush, the eraser, these tools you all have a brush size and a brush opacity. The opacity determines the strength of the tool that you're using, and the size determines the shape and the style of the brush that you're using. This has a fuzzy edge, so that on the outside, the farther it is from the center of the circle, the weaker the erasing gets. Or you can have a hard edge, which is an even erasing throughout. Same here, a hard edge, or I don't believe there is a soft edge for these ones. Now here, soft edge or hard edge. And you can also pick a 1 pixel eraser if you really want to do detail work. Just click outside to close that and choose the opacity, strength of the eraser. Same goes with brush, opacity, the amount of lead that transfers from the paper, that transfers from the pencil to the paper, the size, and the style. The brush, same thing. You can choose the type of brush. The fuzzy type, like a normal brush. A hard tip, like the eraser, so that it has an even distribution throughout. Scatter, which is like if you're stippling the brush, if you're stippling a painting. Or diffuse, which sort of emulates a spray can. Now these, you notice, can be selected all at the same time. Now, if you just select scatter, you have the soft edge being scattered all around. If you just select hard tip, you just have the hard tip. You just have the hard tip. If you select hard tip and scatter, it'll scatter. You select hard tip and diffuse, it seems like nothing will happen because you can't see the difference. Now, if you put scatter and diffuse, you can see the difference. So, the fill tool you should all know. Now, the gradient tool is a tool that selects an area from here to here and applies a gradient. In this case, it's from white to black. So if I let go, transition from white to black, from where I started to where I ended. Now with this tool, there are different ways to spread your gradient. There's the linear way and the radial way. And also the spread method determines how it looks after your selection. Now the pad just extends the area outside your selection with the last color in the gradient. So since I did this, and the radial, it can't extend any more inwards, so it extends outwards the last color, the black. With the linear, extends the first and the last colors, the white and the black. If I change the spread method to reflect, at the ends, they will reflect each other. And if I choose repeat, at the ends, they will repeat each other. Same goes with radial. Repeats each other and reflects each other. Now you can choose the different type of gradient you want. It doesn't have to be white to black. It's like, for example, let's clear this. Right click, select all. Now, if you want to actually select things, you have to select a select tool, like the marquee tool, the lasso tool, or the wand tool. The wand tool selects by color. The marquee tool selects by basic shape of either a square, a rectangle, or an elliptical. And then the lasso tool is a freehand selector. But either of these, if you right-click, you will have these options. Now, since I've selected everything, I can just control and cut and erase everything. So, where was I? Right, gradient tool. You can change your gradient, because if, for example, you draw something and then you want to apply a gradient so that you can shade it, be careful not to use the default gradient, because if you do, it'll cover your image completely, because it's not from transparent to black, it is from white to black. So the white will cover your art. So if you want to pick transparent to black, well, black to transparent in this case, like this, then white to transparent, or rainbow, so on and so forth. So, as you can see, with these ones, you can see through the gradient. You can also, in order to show that, you can change the opacity so that you can see through it even more. And you can fiddle around with these. Oh, and the modes. These modes are all very different. And you can fiddle around with these as much as you like. Discover what each of them do, and then try to rationalize how they do it if you want to, or just find the one that you like and use it. Now the stamp tool is a very good tool to use. First, you need to select an anchor point with it. You hit Control and you click, and that will be your anchor point. Now, if you click and drag, it'll copy from the anchor point the exact image. This is very useful if you have a color that you want to copy onto a line. Say, if you had a picture and then you had a line that you wanted to cover up, you could select a white area, select the line, and then draw over the line with the white area. Now, color replacement tool is much like a brush, except it replaces color rather than adds it. So, and this, it keeps the shade of the color unless you change the options. I don't know how to change the options to not do that, but it changes only the color in this case. Keeps the shade, and this will count as red because the default palette color of black is in the red hue, but to the darkest blackness. So even if it is black, if you select a different hue, it'll replace the color. It won't replace any shades, but it'll replace the color with the set color. Still at red. So I guess you have to change it. You'll have to change it from black because it'll just reset itself back to red. So to yellow, and it'll replace colors with whatever color you chose. It'll replace only this one color because you change it to another color. It'll replace only the color that you start off on. So if you select red, it'll affect only the red. Very useful. I use this to change the hair color of an anime character and to turn it into multiple colors. Let's open this file and open it up. As you can see, all the different colored hair. Started off just one color. I used the color replace tool only on this, tinted the entire thing blue, then changed each hair section that I wanted to. Just zoomed in, picked a small brush, selected the area that I wanted to change the color. Now, you can minimize this again. Also, I'm going to open up that picture of the baby again. Fix the red eye again. Now, you can use the marquee tool to select just an area. I'm going to select the baby's head so that you can affect just that area, or you can right-click it again with the selection tool and invert the selection so that you affect everything but that area that you selected in the beginning. So I will do that and apply an adjustment. Actually, no, I'll apply a filter. I will blur the outside image. Of this much. No? This much. Yeah. Blur the outside image. And then just deselect. And you can see how everything else around his head is blurred, so that you can just focus on the head. And then, again, apply some adjustments and filters to make it look like Instagram picture. Okay, these filters not very well. Sepia, adjustment, saturation. Adjustment, cross process, scan, photo, undo, posterize, there you go, another Instagram-like picture. Slightly strange, but you can undo everything that you don't like. So, also, you can manually blur and sharpen images with the blur and sharpen tool. You can click on the area that you want to sharpen, but if you click too much, sharpens the the pixels individually and turns into a mess like this. And then if you blur, you can't fix that with a blur tool, by the way. You have to undo everything. The blur, there's nothing really wrong. If you blur too much, it just becomes really blurry. And then there's the pinch and bloat, which you should know. And this pot heal, very good tool. Won't work on something like this. But if you select the area, it selects the colors around it to try to fix it. Now this, since it's a different pattern on the inside for the eye, it'll turn into a mess like this. So, if you have a spot like this that you want to take out, and select just that, it'll take it out, no problem. But details like this that you want to fix won't work all that well. It just blurs in what the colors that are outside the selected area. It's very useful for small things like that though, like this though. Like if you don't want this little dot here, just click on it, it's gone. Click on it, it's gone. Click on it, it's gone. Now, these two tools are opposites. The dodge tool makes things lighter. The more you expose it to it. And the burn tool makes things darker. Again, the more you expose it. The sponge tool dyes the color. It lightens it slightly, but due to the color that you have chosen. It saturates it with the color that you have chosen. It saturates it with color and makes it much more colorful. It's your choice to choose when to use it, and the color picker tool is pretty straightforward. You just choose the color that you want to copy. Choose your tool, and use it to draw. I'm sorry for this creepy glow-in-the-dark baby, but yes, I will. Okay. There is also the shape drawing tool, which you can use to draw shapes. Open an image again, which you can use to draw shapes. Now, the color you've chosen here will select the border, will select the color of the border. But the color you select here will select the color of the inside. So then if you draw a box. Now, if you don't want it inside at all, you can just deselect the shape, and you'll just have the border. Sometimes hard to see, but you can also choose the border size. In this case, it's 1. Increase it to like 3. And now you can see it clearer. And you can see through the box. Now, there's a box, a rounded box, and an ellipse, and the very simple line. So you can experiment with all these tools. Forgive me if I haven't covered anything, if I haven't covered any. And layers, adjustment, filter. You can customize this as you want. Play around with these tools. But as an introduction to Pixlr, this is my conclusion to this. So if you are a teacher or something and you want to use this for educational purposes, sorry, I've been covering personal purposes only. If you want to use this for educational purposes, you can introduce this to your students so that they can use it for their projects. Like if they have to make a poster, they can use this to make their own digital poster without having to spend money on Photoshop. Make their own digital poster, print it out, and hand it in. Or if you want them to make a cover page for something, or if you want them to hand in a digital project, you can do that. And then you can send out images that you want them to edit. Now this especially works for art classes. If you want to, I already know that in one of my classes, one of the things we had to do was take an image, fix the red eye again. We had to take an image and we had to adjust it so that no color. Undo, that wasn't it. We had to adjust it so that we could paint it ourselves. Something along the lines of this. So we would have this picture, and then we would paint it with the colors that we wanted. We would tint it, which we could do on here, but we would tint it by hand manually with the colors of our choice. So you can use this to your heart's content. Use it any way you like. But this, remember that the tool's limits are set by the user. So this concludes my introduction to Pixlr. Thank you very much, and have a nice time.